Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's me. Almost normal. Crazy morning. Everything be crazy. Okay, here's the big headline. Iran says the Strait of Hormuz will be opened till the end of the ceasefire. But the U.S. is continuing to blockade it. Okay, so whatever's going on now is the U.S.'s fault, and that's the end of that. You know, Trump is so stupid, he can't think straight sometimes. He doesn't think straight. He's just stupid. I don't know what the hell he's doing, and the problem is nobody else does either. You know, that's a big issue when you think about it. When the President of the United States is doing shit, and nobody, absolutely nobody, can tell you what the hell he's doing. All right? That, ladies and gentlemen, is a problem. But he doesn't appear to think it's a problem, and apparently Congress, for whatever the reason, and Congress is not made up of people that are loyal to their constituency. They are not loyal to anything. They are the paid employees of major corporations, and the sooner we accept that and start doing something about it, the better off we'll be. All right? Now, the Pope and Donald Trump have been feuding, right? Well, they call it a feud. I just call it a conversation over the internet, on social media. And the deal right now is that the Pope's winning. His attitude and what he's saying makes sense. What the Trump says and does, it makes no sense. He is about as dumb as is humanly possible. He is getting more and more trouble every time he turns around. So I don't know, what's going to happen with that. It's not just the Pope, it's everything and everybody. He just he acts, whatever idea pops into his head at the time. Nothing is thought out. Nothing ever was thought out by this man, all right? Because he doesn't read anything. Like, he doesn't read intelligence reports. He doesn't read, he watches TV, and that's where he gets his news and his information from. If he has to actually sit down and read, I think he has ADT. What's that called? Attention deficit syndrome, where he can't pay attention very long, You kind of see it in his speeches, because his speeches wander all over the place, too. I mean, I wander all over the place, too, but that's because I don't get to talk to people a lot. He talks to whoever he wants to talk to. And besides that, when I get going, I get crazy, But he's got some serious problems. I think that's one of them, an attention deficit disorder, which nobody has discussed. They call it senility. I'm not so sure that it's senility or he used another term which I can't remember right now, but I don't believe I think it's more about a deficit disorder of some sort, where he can't concentrate on anything for a very long time. He can't think about anything unless he's angry, When he gets angry, he still wanders around and says stupid shit, because it's whatever comes into his head. So, I don't know. But anyhow, the Pope is winning that one. And then RFK, and I'm not so sure where the health ministry gets involved in this situation. I don't know what it is. But he wants to take black kids and reparent them somehow or another. I don't understand that. The whole article, I didn't get to read it. I just saw the headline and I just started to get sick, because I think that's an issue for education or some other person. It should not be it should not be something for a moron like RFK. And I hate saying RFK is a moron. I mean, Bobby, I liked Bobby, the original Bobby. His father. I would have voted for him in a heartbeat. Thought he was a tough prosecutor. Thought he was a really good attorney general. But then you get this, he got shot, unfortunately. Second Kennedy to get shot. The one that should get shot, and not trying to encourage anybody, but if you looked at it from a perspective of which one of the Kennedys should have got shot, RFK Jr. is the one who should have got shot, this idiot, because he's a complete fucking moron. And where you going, Lucy? Bye, Lucy. But you can get anybody to do anything, I guess, and he's out there. He's got his people are like a cult following, they're just, they don't think straight. And again, he's not even about the money, because if he was about the money, he'd be working with the drug companies to get vaccines out there so that they could charge and figure out a way to charge more money for them and stuff like that. But no, he's not even that. He's just a idiot, and that's a shame. I mean, he's a scary idiot, because he has some intelligence. He just chooses to believe bullshit stories because I think he's an attention seeker, and I think that the bullshit stories get him the attention he wants. Whereas if he sits back and just stayed in the family, he would have been a nothing. And I don't think he wanted to be a nothing. He wanted to do some things that his father couldn't do. That's why he tried to run for president. But I don't know. Every family has a black sheep, and I think this is the guy for this family. Now, an interesting article. I don't know what it actually means, but China is quietly canceling some international flights. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean China's getting prepared for some trouble? Does that mean China wants to isolate itself from the rest of the world again, like it did years ago when it was a very successful country? It's still a successful country, but I didn't look up the list of flights that were being canceled because I didn't have time before I did this. But it seems to me that something weird is going on over there, and I don't know what it is. And I am not prepared to go in deeply, but I just understand. There just seemed to be an interesting article. It's one of those things you find at the bottom of the front page of CNN. Really strange. And another interesting, the acting director of ICE, who stepped in when, what's his name, got fired. I don't remember his name. I don't pay too much attention to these people anymore. They don't stay around long enough for me to get involved in their lives. He's stepping down. So does that mean ICE is in trouble? I don't know. These guys that are walking the streets with ICE on their uniforms and whatnot are just incompetent thugs. Okay? They don't understand law. You have to go to the police academy for almost a year in New York. I think it's a year. Or maybe it's a few weeks. I don't know what it is. But you got to go to an academy, and it's a regimented learning process. You learn a lot of things. You've got to learn the local laws, traffic laws, and everything else. You have to know them all. And that means you can't be stupid. It means you can cheat, but you can't be stupid. And ICE agents don't have that kind of training. It's like you come in 8 weeks, it's like going to boot camp, and 8 weeks later you're out in the street. And they don't even understand the laws. They're told, well, you could kick that door in, so they go kick that door in, and they can't kick that door in because it's a church or it's something else, and they kick it in anyhow because they don't know any better. And then their superiors come to their defense saying that, well, the Supreme Court said we don't need warrants and stuff like that. Well, look, if I own property in let's say Colorado right now, and you came not and you kicked in my door, they'd be taking you out in body bags, okay? That's the way it is in some states. You know, you kick in the door, you're coming out in body bags because they're just not obeying any laws. They think they're above the law. They're like Trump. They think they're above the law. Now, Trump may get away with everything he's done, but karma's going to catch up to that son of a bitch. I think it's beginning already because he's starting to lose his mind. And his replacement, theoretically, Vance, is proven himself to be useless, not strong enough to negotiate with anybody anywhere, so that's another loss, you know. So they might as well keep this prick in office until he, you know, his head blows up or something like that. You know, I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. I just, I don't know what to say about this guy. I really do. He's just, ICE is a disaster. Pam Bondi and the other lady were both disasters in their positions, Homeland Security and Attorney General. Their disaster that they didn't, what they lost and what they got fired for wasn't that they were a disaster or didn't do the job properly. They were fired because they didn't do it fast enough or they didn't do exactly what Donald Trump wanted. Okay, he is a fan of yes men and women, and when I say it's not how you answer. It's how fast you jump and how fast and how high you jump. That makes you a trumpet or trumper or whatever, you know. He's and he's getting. I'm not so sure it's mental deterioration as it is, as I said, is attention deficit disorder, along with frustration and not being able to get across his point. His point may not be what's coming out of his mouth. You know, he may be thinking that this is a great idea if we do it this way, yada, yada, yada. But then he just shouts out, do this. And he expects everybody to do it the way he wants. And maybe that's not happening. I don't know. I'm giving him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt on that stuff, you know, but not much, trust me. But as you can see, as was shown recently, JD is not the successor that everybody's talking about. That's not going to happen, you know. And you've got a man with a real serious problem in Hegseth. Don't know what his problem is, but you don't bring religion fanaticism into the Department of Defense or into a war. All right, when you start bringing God into a war, you're going to have a serious problem. Because eventually it's going to kick you in the ass hard. You know, and that's what I guess that's what he wants. I don't know. But he's one, you know, again, when I said Trump was going to be president, and I said, and they thought, and he was running for president the last time and everything, and I said this while he was running, I said, it's not Donald Trump you have to worry about. It's the other scumbags in his, that he associates with that you have to worry about. They're the real serious criminals. You know, and it's true. Trump is being controlled by our own oligarchs now. It's not a democracy anymore. It's a corporation run by a bunch of CEOs who, now that they've delved into politics, believe that they're like Trump and they're immune and they have immunity for every crime they commit because they can always blame it on Trump. You know, and poor Donald doesn't realize that. whatever bad happens to this country is going to be his fault. He's not going to get credit for anything good that he might have done. And I don't know how much good he actually did. But he's going to get blamed for a lot of bad. And most of that bad is going to be economics, something he's supposed to be good at. And he's not. You know? So I don't know. I really don't know what to tell you. All right, that's it. Listen, it's what day is today? Friday. Okay, you guys gotta take care of yourselves. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. I don't know what's gonna happen this afternoon. I'm gonna go try and do a live video now, which is very late, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna be sorry about that. But you guys take care of yourselves. Hit that if you feel, in your heart, you feel sorry for me or something, hit the subscribe button, will you please? And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.